Drunk Tank. You and me gonna take a ride, and you're gonna listen to what I say, and I say we listen to the Drunk Tank every day, or maybe every Wednesday. The Drunk Tank.
You're listening to NPR.
Jesus. That's how we're going to start 2012?
Yeah, I have a bias against acoustic guitar. Like, I don't know why. Ever since college and all those people singing about how they should save the sheep.
Dude, there's nothing worse than like that guy who's in front of the dorm playing acoustic guitar trying to pick up chicks.
And that guy,
he's always there.
He is forever.
So you guys are jealous.
I was going to say, that works.
No.
Does it?
Well, no, I mean, he'll do it even when the chicks aren't there. He'll just keep singing about the sheep.
That's how he calls them. It's like the hunter who uses the duck call when the ducks aren't there, because they'll show up. They're like, oh, what's this? I'm interested.
Yeah, he's not talking to the ducks that are present. He's trying to draw in new ducks.
We should...
and teach them how to save sheep.
And stuff like that.
What is the save the sheep movement? I'm not familiar with
I
this.
don't know what the save the sheep movement is, but they seem to want to sing about it, like, all the time. I don't know, they always want to save the sheep and save the cows and save everything.
I haven't heard that song.
I don't know. It's always involved with acoustic guitars, though. You never hear like a gangster rap song about it. That's all I'm saying.
But you may have
I'd like to put in a request for a gangster rap, Save the Sheep.
You may have heard the voice right there, but we have a very special guest on today's podcast.
We have Jay or Dan. What do you prefer, Jay or Dan or Jordan?
It's Jordan now. It changed yesterday.
Oh, no.
I updated his thing on the
Yeah.
site.
Oh, wow. Okay,
we gotta stop doing that. We gotta stop updating names.
Why is that?
I don't know. Because you learned someone's name with Jay or Dan 23, right?
Can I say something? Not to derail Jordan's introduction. Jack is in a foul mood.
I'm old.
We should...
Oh, yeah.
Jack's birthday was yesterday. We should have recorded the setup for this podcast because Gus and Joel were bickering, and I'm over here bickering with Jack. I just said turn my headphones down half a notch, and Jack's over here, fucking end of the table, glowering. He goes, half a notch. What a douche. What the fuck is your problem?
He gets that way. It's unbearable. He's about to be in a worse mood, by the way.
Because you assholes went to Vegas without me. That's why I'm...
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Are you still bad? We
No,
invited you
you
1,000 fucking times.
I invited you 1,000 times, and you should be fucking happy.
Well,
you didn't go to fucking Vegas.
He's not a big boy. He can't make the decisions on his own.
No, clearly not. Wait, I should be happy I didn't go to Vegas. Why should I be happy I didn't go to
why
Vegas?
should he be
Joel?
happy?
Tell us, Joel.
What happened?
I don't like the way this conversation
What was his name?
It's your conversation. You said it.
You set up the topic, and then you stepped away from it.
I don't know. I lost a lot of money.
Yeah, he did.
How much is a lot?
No, let's not.
Is someone in Costa Rica going...
It wasn't Blackjack's fault, though. Because I grinded away for hours and hours and hours. It sounds kind of gross, actually. But and then I walked away from the blackjack table. I had this great strategy where I was going to walk up to the roulette table, and I was fucking...
Well, that's your first problem right there, is walking up to a roulette table.
I walked up to the roulette table, and I would put $25 down, and if it won, I took my $25. I put on black, and then I take it and I just bet $25. If that $25 lost, then I double it to $50.
This is the oldest, lamest.
This is the oldest,
strategy.
lamest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oldest, lamest thing, and just double it and double it and
Double your bet.
But it worked.
You double your bet when you lose.
Right.
That way, theoretically, you can never lose. It's why tables have limits.
Sure. And it worked and worked and worked for about 4. And I knew. I said to myself, this is going to keep working and working until it doesn't. And then, I mean, as soon as that's the thing. If it rolls red, like I can't remember what it was, 7 or 8 times, then you're fucked and it's over. And that's what happened.
Then all of a sudden, the pitmaster has you like in a back stock room, like working you over with a sack of soap.
I was there for like 4 hours. I mean, I was doing damage. It was great. I was having a blast. Some guy walked up and like put $30,000 on the table.
Whoa!
Put a number, yeah, like bam, 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 and he was gone in like 5 minutes. I was like, ha ha ha, I beat that guy. And
So you watch some guy lose $30,000 in 5 minutes?
Yeah, little did I know at the time it was foreshadowing.
You know, that does happen. That does happen when you're in Vegas, where you go really high up or really low down, but then you watch some other guy betting a retarded amount of money and just kind of like takes away the high and low away from you.
Yeah.
Like $30,000.
He's deflecting. You can do your thing. Just let everyone focus on that guy.
No,
He's the equivalent of the guy out in front of the dorm with the acoustic guitar. That's what I think.
I was in
Joel's
LA for a long time and had no money whatsoever, and I would still go to Vegas when I had no money or whatever, and watch these guys just like pull out these rolls of 100 and just be like, I could live off of that for a year.
Yep.
And it was just like depressing.
I remember, like, when I was in college, I went to Vegas, like, my first or second time I ever went to Vegas, and I was playing craps at, like, $10 minimum table or whatever, and the table next to us was reserved, and I was like, that's weird, and this guy shows up with just this rack of chips, playing by himself with probably $100,000 on the table, just this one guy, and I'm just like, that's my college career tripled right there, essentially. Like,
I'd play with myself all day if I had $100,000 too. Fucking rub it all over.
Just take your time, like, what's up, guy?
Is it fun to play craps by yourself? That's a very social gambling game.
No, craps, you need a large group of people that are all into the game.
Well, see,
to have a good time.
he had money, but he was lonely.
See, it's Jordan
like
makes
Pretty
a good
Willy
point.
Wonka. It's like Pretty Woman. You could have been his companion.
By the way,
could
that's
have.
all bullshit. By the way, it's like, oh, you have friends. You don't even, no, that's all bullshit. That doesn't.
Well,
I'll happily be the guy by himself with the money. See, that's there's no
So
question.
you're living the dream then,
Well, yeah, except for
except for the money part.
I did. You know, it's funny. Except for the money part. I don't know.
See, here's what I've learned about gambling in Vegas, and this is the thing that puts it all in perspective, is that you can, let's say you go in with whatever amount of money you want to spend, $1,000. You can go up and down all day. You can win $10,000, you can go down, all that. The casino, you go back and forth over your career. The casino, you cannot beat the casino. You can never, and here's why.
In the long run, well, go ahead.
Here's why. Because you can go up and down all day, but the casino only has to get you to zero once.
That's right.
And once they get you to
That's right.
zero, then they win.
That's
and you
right.
can't ever get them down to zero.
That's right.
Ever.
That's right. It's like the same thing. Like markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay, liquid.
Solvent. Yeah.
Solvent.
Yeah, you can, you'll never get them to zero, and they will eventually. They have an end game, and you do not have an
No,
end game.
you should go in. You have a set amount of money. You say, I have this amount of money. If I get to that point, then I'm done. And,
Are you telling us? You're telling yourself.
I just keep telling myself.
You're talking to future Joel.
But it was
I'm
funny.
gonna get back. I just loan them the money. I'm gonna get those fuckers. The thing is, I've dug myself into a hole so deep now
Oh God.
that it's like I could sit at a table, win a lot of money, and spend a lot of time, and I don't put a dent into it, and that's the problem. So,
Oh, that's
So that
that,
means you just got to play bigger tables.
that's the problem too. Where you sit there, and you go, now it doesn't even matter. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Now,
Get that attitude while gambling.
Where'd you guys stay? Where were y'all at?
Mandalay Bay.
Oh, fuck that place.
And
Fuck that place.
we
I
were
love
out
that
there.
place.
I had a meeting January 2nd in Las Vegas, and I actually have to go back next week for the IAW TV Awards.
Was that the world's most hungover meeting?
Yeah, pretty. No, January 1st was a race because Joel and we thought, okay, since I have to go out there January 2nd, Joel's always up for going to Vegas. Usually Jack is too, but this weekend was more like a weekend for Jack.
Okay, whatever.
So I said to Joel, hey, how about we go out to Vegas for New Year's? And then we did something we would never ever do. We went to one of those like ultra club mega parties.
Shishi Club.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry for you guys.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
I mean-
one of those. We had a blast, dude.
I mean, getting into it was terrible because it was like stand in a line to go up to an escalator to meet a guy with a clipboard to like then they check your eye. It's like, just why did you check my? This is ridiculous. But anyways, once we got in there, then it was a blast.
Nah, fuck everything about that.
No,
No,
I mean,
I'm with
was
you.
a
I'm
blast.
with you. Normally, we had a blast.
It was a blast. It
I
was-
even said, like, look, I never do anything like this. I'm just going to embrace this and have fun with it. And we had a blast.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. See, I don't know if you know this, but if you
Hit me.
drink a lot of alcohol,
yes.
things get fun.
That's true. That's very true. You raise an interesting counterpoint.
I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. You know who drank a lot of alcohol lately? I have a story for you. Is Jack. Jack drank a lot of alcohol. See, when we first moved into this building, Jack and I went across the street, and there's a place called Little Woodrose.
we filmed
Yeah.
a bunch of shorts there.
Yeah, we did
And
your clone one.
And they were like, oh, they have a thing where they've got like a list.
Oh, yeah.
They got like a list of like 100 beers or something like that. And
50
they
beers.
give you a keychain.
Yeah.
And so Jack and I were like, that's it. I'm going to do this list. And I was like, okay, let's do the list. And so for like a year and a half, Jack, and the thing about this is that if you get through the whole list, then you get a plaque. And you can put whatever you want on the plaque, and they put it on the wall. And so for like
theoretically,
a
it's
year,
your name.
yeah.
theoretically it's your name. So for a long time, I got to like number 6 on the list, you and I, and it was like number 6 was like some weird grass beer.
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's called
A
lawnmower.
And that was
Terrible.
it for me. It was
Wow.
it was terrible. That weeded me out at like number 6.
It weeded you out?
It weeded me out. Thank you. It's like the golf clap.
It's definitely it was definitely the first speed bump. There were a couple speed bumps on the big 50.
And so the whole time, Jack is whittling his way down the list for like a year, whittling his way and making fun of me the whole time
Because you couldn't
And-
finish a lawnmower.
Right. And so, like, we finally, like, last week, right, you got through the end of the list.
Yeah.
Like, right in, like, near your birthday.
Yeah.
And so you finished the list, and they brought over the thing, and you wrote down on the thing what you were going to put on your plaque.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't know is that I went ahead and intercepted the waitress.
Oh, God. See, I thought you were trying to get her number or something. I saw you go over and talk to her.
I bribed her $100.
Oh my god!
And I said, hey, listen, if I give you $100, can I change what's on the plaque? She's like, yeah, no problem.
Oh, God damn it.
So on a napkin,
What is it?
It says Joel number 1, Jack smells.
He's drawing it out on a cocktail napkin like he's planning a business.
You gotta send me that picture. You gotta send me that picture.
Oh,
for the
my
link.
God.
What did it
son
say?
of a bitch.
What did it say originally?
That is my name.
And it's
and
so
know
funny
something
too
about,
because
like,
the waitress
drinking.
came over. I didn't even think about this, but the waitress came over and you were like so proud, and she was like, "Okay, write down this card what you want." Like Jack was writing like big block letters, like "Jack is the greatest" or something like
he's
that.
writing his tombstone.
I was like, "Why are you writing in big block letters?" He's like, "Well, I want them to know exactly how I want it to look like," and that was the moment I knew I couldn't happen.
Joel made you do all the work.
Oh, my
Email
God.
me that.
took the credit.
Please.
All right. Well, when they put it up, too, we'll take a photo there when they put it up on the wall.
Oh my god!
There's
Jesus
absolutely
Christ.
no loyalty
That's-
at Woodrow's. $100
not.
buys their loyalty.
All right.
So I didn't even have to go through the list.
And
I only got through 6 beers and pep.
Yeah.
I got my own pie.
He's number one, and you smell.
It is recorded for eternity now. It's
Oh,
like
man.
on the record. It's like thousands of years from now, they'll have the Magna Carta and the plaques at Little Woodrow's.
Joel's number 1 and Jack smells. So the
God,
worst
I hate
thing
you.
on that punch list, it was 50 beers, right?
50 beers, yeah. So the lawnmower was like number 6, which was like the first real stumbling block, and then there's another one further down the list.
Oh, you were on that one for like 3 months.
Yeah,
So what do you have to do to knock it off the list? You just have to have
Just
like a
drink one.
pint of it? Okay.
Yeah, you just have to drink one. Like so, and you have to drink them in order too. So it's like 1 through 50, and you have to drink them in the correct order, and then they come over at the end of the night. However many you drank, they punch it off your keychain of 50.
Theoretically, you're only supposed to drink 2 a night. Right?
Yeah, but they kind of ignore that. But anyway,
We're throwing them under the bus.
well, I mean, if you're there for like 3 hours watching a football game, you can drink more than 2 beers.
Yeah, you can drink like 10 or 20.
So anyway, around number 36, something like that, or 32, somewhere in the 30s, there's this drink called the Michelada,
Oh, yeah.
which...
So gross.
Have you had one of these, Jordan? Okay, essentially it's tomato juice and beer with Tabasco sauce in it.
And pepper.
It's
too,
think of it like a
pepper.
Bloody Mary, but with beer instead of vodka.
It was the most disgusting thing in the world ever, and I'd seen people
Or
drink
think
it.
of it like this: vomit going in.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things where I was just like, no,
Pre-vomit.
Just I
It
it's
doesn't
like,
even
all right.
sound like a drink.
No, it's pretty much not. It's tomato juice with Tabasco sauce.
That's one of
Ugh.
those drinks that like chicks will like, and I'm pretty sure the only reason they like it is just to throw us for a loop. It's just like because we don't understand it. You know?
Really? Is that a ploy?
So-
That's a ploy.
I'm showing Jordan some pictures of micheladas here.
You were stuck on it, Jack, for so long that I would make fun of you. One day, just to show Jack up, I ordered it. I'm not doing this punch list thing. I just ordered it when we were there one day, and I took one sip of that. I go, no, fuck this. Your list is over. This is terrible.
I ordered one once when I was drunk because I thought it sounded good. Then I got it and I was instantly sober. And I was like, no, forget this.
My gag,
Abort.
my gag reflex is taking off again. God, it's so bad.
So anyway, finally one day, I forget what it was, Bernie's like, screw this, you're getting through it. So he ordered it for me. He's like, you're getting this. And they're like, well, we can bring you like a half serving of one. And like, will that help? And I was like, okay, fine.
Wow, they really
They're actually pretty
I
cool
was
about
in
it.
for that, I didn't realize.
And so anyway, she brought it to me and I took a sip. I was like, oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. And Bernie's like, just pound it. I was like, all right. So I just chugged the whole thing down. And I think I ordered my next beer too. So that was my chaser
You're gonna
for the
have a good-
Michelada. So anyway, once I got through that, it was smooth sailing. But that was rough to get through that one. So anyway, I finished it, I guess, a week before New Year's. So there we go. And apparently now my plaque says Joel's name on it.
It has your name too.
Yeah, you
It's still cool.
That's your name.
It is
what's the
nice,
character
though.
limit on it?
It is nice to finish major life goals before 30. So
Exactly.
it's
There you
an
go.
accomplishment.
Do they have a character limit on how many you can put on the plate? Like, is it like a tweet? Can you put up to 140
No,
characters?
you fucking nerd. It's a bar. For Christ's sake, a character limit on a plaque. No,
They don't have a character limit, so you can put as many as you want on
it's
there.
hand drawn.
Well, it's
Why
like a
don't you
plaque.
push your glasses up while you make that rhetoric?
It's hand drawn, or is it printed on?
It's hand drawn. It's
Oh,
like maybe
okay.
like an inch and a half, 2 inches tall by like 6 inches long. It's,
Okay.
it's whatever they can fit
I
on.
thought it was a printed thing.
I would
No,
draw
no.
a picture.
So anyway, I hate you, Joel.
Congratulations,
I want
Jack.
you to know that. I hate
It's for
you.
your own good.
I thought you were my friend.
I did something like that one time. My buddy Schaefer, he went off to New York for a summer when I was in college. And he came back, and all he could do, of course, when he came back was talk about how fucking great New York was and da-da-da. And he wouldn't
fucking hate that.
Yeah, wouldn't shut up about it for like 3 months straight. And he kept talking about like places he would go to eat in New York. And one day we went to, what's that little house restaurant up in
Hyde Park?
Hyde Park, yeah. The Hyde Park
Hyde
Cafe.
Park Bar and Grill?
Yeah, Bar and Grill. So we're at the Hyde Park, and they have a Reuben on the menu. And he goes, "Oh man, you wouldn't believe the Reubens in New York." I'm like, "Dear, here you go." So he goes, "Yeah, they're huge, man. You go to like this deli, some guy's name deli, like I don't know, Harvey's Deli or something like that. They have this Reuben, you wouldn't believe how big it is." And I said, "Well, order the Reuben here. Maybe it's just as big as." I doubt it. And he orders a Reuben. I walked into the kitchen and I said, "Buddy at my table just ordered a Reuben. I want to order 6 fucking Reubens and just make them all as one gigantic sandwich, the biggest you can fucking make it." It looked like something out of Close Encounters when it was done. It was this enormous pile of meat with these 2 little pieces of bread. Motherfucker didn't flinch at it. I bought 6 sandwiches, and he was like, "Yeah, this is okay." I'm like, "You're kidding me?" I was like, half a cow on a piece of bread.
I guess it's big.
Yeah, fucking jackass. So I didn't get to ruin his experience the way you get to ruin Jack's, but it's always nice to try to ruin your friends.
He ruined your experience, though.
He did.
And it cost you a lot of money.
And it cost me 6 Reubens worth of cash. Too.
I wonder if the waitress is just fucking with you. If she just took your $100, it was like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
She better not.
Joel's eyes just got really big. No, so we went there last night too, and we had the same waitress too. So she didn't say anything about it.
She hasn't run off to Mexico with her fortune yet.
Yeah. I mean, you have to understand, you've been to Little Woodrow's twice since that point. We've had very casual conversations about it, right? Where you're like, I was like, "Oh, where are you guys going tonight?" And you're like, "Oh, we're going to Little Woodrow's." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." I mean, the last 2 nights ago, when we went to Little Woodrow's, I had to go there and I had to intercept the waitress again and be like, "Is it up on the wall? We have to hide it on the wall," because I've been trying to like hide this till the podcast.
Oh,
So it's
man.
So it hadn't.
No, apparently they have like a stack of like they're out of those plaque things right now, so they're waiting to get more in before they can put it up. So.
I put a lot of work into this.
Nice. I even here's the shitty thing. I even asked our waitress to put my plaque in our booth that we usually sit in.
You have a booth there?
Well, we kind of sit in the same area typically. So
That's awesome.
she's like, "You want it right there?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, no problem." So,
That'll be $100, please.
Yeah. Jack's about to find a new booth. Meanwhile, Joel's found one for life.
That was back.
Joel's
when I
about to find a new bar.
See, that's back when I had money before I went to Vegas. I had that. I had this happen after I went to Vegas. This would have never happened. No.
I would have been happy and lived my life normally.
Exactly.
Great.
So last night you went to Mighty Fine for your birthday?
Yes,
Did you get clean hands?
I did.
They have a hand
That
washing
hand
machine
spot.
there.
That thing's
awesome.
so cool.
Every time.
Yeah, we put
Yeah?
Nick Jordan to it for the
Yeah.
first time.
It really is, right?
Yeah.
Where's your clean hand sticker?
I took it off.
I was wearing that in one of the video podcasts. I have clean hand sticker.
Oh, yeah,
The one where I had the black shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And then
How the fuck did you have clean hands like at 10 in the morning?
I don't know. I think it was when I remember I was doing those allergy shots.
Uh-huh.
I would go to Westlake to do that, and I'd come back and buy Rudy's in the morning. Rudy's breakfast tacos, and Rudy's is the same. It's a barbecue place owned by the same people who own Mighty Fine Hamburgers, and they have a hand washing machine with the stickers there. too.
I don't understand why that hasn't taken off. I've never seen that anywhere else other than Rudy's and Mighty Fine.
You know what else they have at that
Hand
place?
spa.
They must. The dude who owns that must be kind of OCD because they also have something that's really cool in the bathroom there, which is on the inside of the door. They have a hook where you open it with your foot.
Yeah.
So when you're leaving the bathroom, you open the door with your foot
That's
instead
genius.
of
Yeah.
It's
How's that not caught on?
It's just a little metal tab at the bottom. You just hook your foot under it and pull the door.
That's
I have
awesome.
No idea.
They've got one of those at third base too, over in South Park.
Do they? I never even aware of that.
There's something else too. I'm going to say something else like that, but I can't remember what it was though.
Welcome to the regional portion of the podcast.
There we go. Yeah, regional Eries
Now,
portion.
people love food around here. If they ever visit, now they know where to go.
We had a really cool thing. iTunes named us top 3 podcasts for the game and hobbies.
Yeah. They did their iTunes Rewind for 2111. And suck it, we were up there.
That's awesome.
Suck it, Lonely Island.
That's YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
that
YouTube.
was
Yeah,
different.
whatever. Same thing. They've got a podcast too, I'm sure.
Screw them anyway.
This is also, I realized now.
The podcast is called Saturday Night Live.
This is our, they're big on TV, but we got the internet. This is our first podcast of 2012, and this is the 5th year we've been doing podcasts now.
Wow.
We started,
Congratulations.
We started at the end of 08, so we did 08, 09, 10, 11, and now 12.
5 years. God, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we only did like 2 at the end of 08, so.
Well, don't qualify. Don't take it away from yourself.
Well, yeah, like the first
think it
5
was
were
one,
scattered over
actually.
months, right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
the first few.
we're in the middle of our second presidential term. We're just at the beginning.
the first.
Yes.
What did the first podcast? What was the purpose of it? Do you remember?
I remember.
Jack will remember.
I can recall.
No, it was before we talked about that stupid game with the sheep. No, wait, taking it back full circle. The alien flock.
Flock? Yeah. No, it was to launch Achievement Hunter. Because we did the bet with...
Yeah, that was the bet. I don't remember. It wasn't
No, I
Achievement
think
Hunter.
Achievement Hunter was launched before that because we did our
No, not
first
5 years.
No, Achievement Hunter's like we're turning 4 in July.
Yeah. So that was the start. That was the start of Achievement Hunter.
was the
That
bet.
like- the bet. The gamer score bet.
Oh, right.
So that was like... I mean, Jeff and I talked about Achievement Hunter for a long time and had all those stupid names we were trying to... Whatever we're going to call it.
Achievement.
Achievement was one of them. And so it was just like introducing gamer score, and that was like the first things we started doing. I did a Mile High Club video
Oh, right.
in a journal, I think what was that? That'd have been 2008, like October.
Was that Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare?
Mhm. Yeah, Modern
what are we
Warfare.
on? 3, so it would have been
It was 4 iterations ago.
4 iterations ago. So
Wow, really? 4 iterations now?
it would have been
Well, 'cause
06.
Because it was Modern Warfare 1, which had Mile High Club, and then you had I forget whatever the Treyarch one was after that. The Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, that was
And then you had Black
World
Ops.
of War, yeah.
World of War, and then Modern Warfare 2, then Black Ops, and now Modern Warfare 3. So that was...
that Sky
Forward,
High
yeah.
achievement, which is at the end of Modern Warfare 2, like we talked about. That
One.
I remember that was a very distinct moment for me because I didn't even play through that really, but that was the moment where I gave up competitive gaming in any way whatsoever. That was the moment where it's like, I'm just putting the game on easy from now on. All of them from here on out. I'm just not being competitive. I'm just going to play. Through
What was the achievement at the end that got you?
Mile High
Scott,
Club.
the one
The
that
Mile
you
High
and Jeff,
Club?
you and Jeff
Yeah.
were playing this guy where it's just like, well, you could do everything right, and still the scenario may not unfold in a way where you're going to get the achievement. And it's just sort of like left, right, left, down, up. It's like that was impossible.
You had to go through... Are you familiar with this, Jordan?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So it was after you finished... Was it the original Modern Warfare?
Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah.
I'm weird because I
Modern
have
Warfare 1, yeah.
1,000 points in the Modern Warfare. I think definitely the first one, and I'm close to the second one. But I've never played a single round of multiplayer in Modern Warfare. Isn't that weird? Must be
No,
some
that's
kind of-
awesome.
That is weird.
Must be some kind of weird
Because most of the people, at least it's my experience, most of the people who are into that game, it's about the multiplayer. I know
Sure.
tons of people who play that game hardcore,
Yeah.
and most of them haven't even played the single player.
Infinity Ward was always really good about making all their achievements single player, and then then they have like multiplayer ribbons and stuff like that, which is perfect.
prestige
That's
and all
exactly
that.
what you
Yeah.
want to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
There should not be achievements in multiplayer.
Yes.
Maybe for DLC, but then make it co-op.
I'm
But
not sure. I don't know. I go back and forth on that.
Yeah, even then, it's like I don't like the idea of there
It's
being
not-
a game where you can't get all the achievements if you
It's
don't
not
have
a complete.
multiplayer.
It's not a complete experience. I mean, most games now, come with a single player and a multiplayer, and it's like it feels not a complete experience if I don't play at least some of both.
I get what you're saying, but in my opinion, achievements were created to give a competitive aspect to single player.
Yes.
Because then you show off stuff you did that you never got to show off before. Like, I got all the packages in Grand Theft Auto 3. There was no way to show that off before. Whereas multiplayer already has its own built-in ranking system and commendation system because you're good at the game and you're playing against other people. And achievements are a way to show that off in single player. Jack, I
Exactly.
agree with you. I think that achievements should only be in single player.
Yeah.
I agree too.
Yeah.
So let it be written. That's it.
That's
Me
three,
too.
three or 5. Oh, there we go, 4 or 5.
Rooster Teeth podcast law.
I'm going to try to
It seems
find
weird to
this
me.
research.
I'd
It seems
agree.
weird.
So
Yeah, but this thing was at the end of Modern Warfare, and it was an airplane level, like a double-decker 747 or 767 or whatever. It was like you had to go save a hostage. And so you started
You had
off...
2 minutes,
You had 2 minutes, and on the hardest difficulty...
maybe less.
Yeah, I don't think it was a minute.
Might have been a minute.
Yeah.
I think it was a minute.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a minute, because I remember every turn of that airplane. I must have played it 400, 500 times to beat it. And you would charge through the first level to the front of the plane, work your way up a set of stairs, and then charge back down a hallway to try to get this hostage thing at the end. And it was
At the very end, it goes into that slow-mo
Slow-mo, yeah.
sequence where you got to pop the guy in the head.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that moment where, well, if you fuck this moment up,
and I did.
you got it.
I did. I
All
shot
that.
him in the head. I did that. Let me see here exactly the date on this thing.
Yeah, it's
I have my journal.
1 minute.
11/13/07 is when I put that thing up.
Yeah, it's a little over 3 years ago.
Yeah. I was talking about finishing up the final episode of Recovery 1 at the same time. If that puts it in perspective for Red vs. Blue fans.
I'm showing Jordan here a little walkthrough. Someone's
I
video.
got this old. I'm even referring to Jeff in my journal as G-Funk.
God.
God, that was a long time
That
ago.
is a long time ago.
Yeah, it says, I think Jeff has run the 1 minute level for anywhere between 5 to 10 hours. I spent several on it myself.
How many hours did it take you to get through it?
Like 6 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, maybe like 4 to 6 hours of just over and over
So,
again repetitive.
without
it's
how,
not- it's
how-
somebody-
how many controllers did you break?
God, so many times you get so close. It was all like how you use your flashbangs, and like you throw a flashbang in a room and then you just run through it, wouldn't shoot anybody in it. Yeah, I can tell you exactly. And there's a point where there's a explosion and a decompression of the cabin, where like stuff's flying out and all that.
I mean, somebody walks up and tells me, okay, hey, you're going to spend the next 6 hours on this 1 minute. I'm not. I'm passing. Pass.
Yeah, I'll pass too.
But that was the last achievement you had to get, right? Like you got everything else up to that point,
right?
Like this was separate from the game. Like you beat the whole story, the campaign, and then this was like something different.
Yeah, it was the first Spec Ops mission, which they brought in the Spec Ops into Part 2, Modern Warfare 2. But essentially, this was sort of the first looking one, or the first one.
This actually was before the podcast. This was the race that Jeff and I did to complete it. Then I guess it took us a whole year later. We were still talking about the achievement stuff. Achievement Hunter, which what we now call Achievement Hunter. We were still talking about some way to get that off the ground, and then we did the race for Jeff to get 10,000 gamer score. That was the first podcast that we did.
Right. Yeah, that was the bet.
Which Jeff still has not fucking paid me for after all these years.
No, that one he won.
Yeah, he won.
And you paid him.
No, what was the thing he paid me for? Oh, you paid me for this?
Yeah, the Modern Warfare one is the one he didn't. He didn't.
And he also never completed
the zombie game.
Oh, yeah. The Dead Rising survival mode.
Right. That was the bet.
That was the bet.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And he just won't do it.
Or that was the punishment for losing the bet.
Still, bar none, the best achievement that I've ever gotten. This with Mile High Club is great, but that 7-day survivor on the original Dead Rising is incredible. It's just like, it's literally like 36 hours to get it. Like you have to babysit your Xbox. It's pretty funny. It's a great achievement.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to like modify your actual life, like your real world interactions around babysitting a fucking game.
See, I love that. I love that, but it's just I could never do it. Like I just don't have the time, But it's like, God, I love that idea. I wish I could do it.
Do you have any achievements, Joel, that you're particularly proud of?
Any achievement that I've gotten, I'm proud of it.
How about that Jillian Michaels one you got?
I'm very proud. None of you will get that Jillian Michaels. There's tons of achievements that I've gotten that none of you people will ever get. Because you won't even get near the game.
Bring it.
You're scared.
Tell me one. I'll do
You're
it.
Scared. Like that one where you have to run 25 feet. You'll never get that one. I mean, that one's impossible too because it's sort of like you're running. It's like just run over the thing, but it's like the connect doesn't quite work or whatever. So it's like you want it running like 2 miles to walk over a log.
It's all workout. So you should, if you're playing that game, you probably appreciate the fact that you have to run 2 miles.
Oh, it's horrible.
I tried that EA Active game. Fuck that.
I tried that one too.
I was a little embarrassed how badly that kicked my ass.
Yeah.
God.
What about you, Gus?
Huh? Any achievements you have that you're?
Nah, I don't pay attention to them. I really don't care that much.
Jordan, do you play games much?
Yeah, I do.
Anything you're particularly proud of achievement-wise?
Achievement-wise, no, not really. I just play it, and then whatever I have, I go through it once, and I'll have like 16 out of like 50. I'm like, yeah, that looks good.
I'm the same way. Like whatever I play, whatever I get while playing, I get.
Yeah.
You have to have a ton.
I've got a couple. But perfecting Geometry Wars 1.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty damn good, dude.
That was pretty. There's 2 achievements in there. One's get a 10x multiplier, and there's one survive 1,000,000 without dying.
Right.
Those are both very,
I
very
remember
difficult.
watching you when you did that.
Yeah.
You seemed a little bit stressed.
I can't see that game after about 5 minutes. All that shit
you
on
get
the
into
screen.
some weird zone. And then, anyway, that one and also the one in Limbo for beating the game without dying more than 5 times.
Yeah.
That's a cool achievement.
That's the one I have left on Limbo. I love 100% in games, and I got to do that.
That one, like, I literally was on my 5th man getting to the very end of it, and it was just like, oh, God.
There's like a jumper on the hotel sign that seems like it'd be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Barb, you want my seat? Barb's going to come join us.
She can share with me. Here.
Mine would either be Mile High Club, 7-Day Survivor,
Why do you have a toothbrush? But that sounds...
or probably my best one that very few people have is I have 100% of the achievements on Orange Box,
Oh, wow.
which is 99 achievements.
That's crazy. Isn't there one that's really Noam Chomsky? Is that on there?
Yeah, we got to carry the
yeah.
gnome all the way through the game.
Yeah,
all the way through Half-Life.
That's a cool
2.
achievement.
It is. See, that's a kind of
Yeah.
that's like performance level achievements. I like that
It
kind
also
of stuff.
gives you some replay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got all the achievements. I remember in the portal, I got 100% of the third of the red box, but then I never even
Orange
I
box.
never played Orange
The red box.
We clearly played every game.
Did you rent enough movies?
Is Redbox doing games?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it's like $2 a night for a Redbox game, I think.
I believe you're correct.
Okay.
$2 a night for Redbox.
I think Austin was one of the test markets, like one of the first markets that they rolled that out in. And now I think they have it at all their red boxes.
Okay.
So there you go.
It's fun.
Sports
because-
broadcast brought to you by
Congratulations.
Redbox.
I don't know. It's funny. I just happened to peruse by one of your Jordan's journal entries
Uh-huh.
or whatever. It's like, oh, look what I got for Christmas, and you got like Portal 2.
Oh, yeah.
and something. What'd you have? You get, Portal 2 and something
It
else.
was Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah,
which I
Left 4
didn't
Dead
have.
2. I was like, oh, look at that.
That has a gnome
those
achievement
are
in it, too.
legitimate
Those are
Christmas
good games.
presents.
Yeah,
And,
those are games that because I played Portal 2, but I didn't have it like for the Xbox and like it, so I could play it whenever because it was on the computer, and it was on my brother's computer, so he wanted me to go on it, and so I've been wanting like it for the Xbox, and I got it for Christmas,
Yeah, I remember looking at your and be like, those are legitimate.
and I got the
Christmas
Millennium
presents.
Falcon,
Yeah.
Legos.
I got
that's
socks.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I got socks.
Did
I
you
didn't
really get socks?
I got socks. I didn't get anything. I didn't get nothing fun.
You know, the older I've gotten, the more I appreciate socks.
well, no, it's funny. It's funny. Somebody put
Here's
there's
to
a
you,
chart.
my friend.
There's a chart on the website that somebody posted, and it's really funny. It's like when you're a kid, you get socks. Oh, this sucks, and then you're older, it's like, and then you're older, it's like, oh, I love socks. It's like I've gone past that now because it's like I used to love socks.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago. Now I've even evolved past that because now I'm like a arrogant sock person, where it's
So you
like,
need the
no,
right
no, I
kind of
gotta
socks?
have the right kind. Exactly,
Okay.
I gotta have like the breathable, double sole, whatever socks.
Yeah,
which
you're
by the
old.
way didn't effing work. On New Year, like what we were going
feet
to
didn't
this
breathe?
club.
Oh, gosh. His
We
feet
went to this
suffocated.
club for New Year's, and Faith was like, "Oh no, you can't wear those shoes." At,
Yes.
in the club or wherever. Like, I can't. What do you mean I can't wear these shoes? So she made fun of my shoes, so I couldn't. I had to go buy actual shoes.
What was there a dress code where you could legitimately
Well,
not
I wasn't
wear?
sure. I wasn't
Fuck
sure.
that.
See,
Gus
I didn't
loves dress
know.
codes.
I didn't know. I was asking these questions, right? These are legitimate questions. And so,
Can I tell you something though?
you know how much fake blood I've splattered on those old shoes I had?
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Quite a
fake
bit.
blood.
We
yeah.
played our cops yesterday. Those cop characters that always seem to get covered in blood somehow. We
I
played them
have a perfect,
yesterday.
I have a perfect. I had to buy these effing new shoes, and I have a perfect slice going through the back of my right foot or whatever, and it's terrible. It was.
When the first time I took Gus to Vegas, and Gus, you seemed to like Vegas the first time we
Oh
went.
yeah, I love it.
We tried to go to every casino on the strip. We just thought we're going to hit every single one.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
We went up. We started from the Wynn, then we walked all the way down to Luxor.
Yeah.
I think
I
we
mean,
got to
Man-
Luxor.
Mandalay's past
Did you
Luxor.
did you
Yeah,
gamble?
we didn't walk all the way down.
Did
there. I
you
think we
did you
stopped.
gamble at each casino?
Every now and then we'd stop and gamble a bit.
So basically, your
It-
goal
because
was just to walk.
Even walking took hours.
You guys are fucking turning
Yeah.
old.
That was like 7
You're
years
like
ago.
mall
We did it. It was
walkers.
fun. We were doing that for fun. We were there for like 2 or 3 days.
We weren't in our fucking rascals. We walked.
Our goal is to walk through every casino.
But I had brand new shoes in that thing too, and I dug a hole right through the
It's
back
a
of my heel.
very. That's a long walk.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. But you talk about dress code. We live in Austin. And one of the things I like about Austin and alternatively hate about Austin is the fact that you can wear whatever you want wherever you want. Like, even if you want to go out to a
I
nice
think it's getting
restaurant.
that way generally. I think it's just getting more acceptable.
Yeah?
everywhere.
But people will say when you go like, it's like, where are we going to eat? It's like, oh, we're going to the steak place because so-and-so's in town. And it's somebody at work like, oh, can I go in this? And everyone else goes, oh, it's Austin. Who cares? And I hate that. I really hate that. Like, there's nowhere you can go that is nice dressed. You know what I mean?
See,
Where
I
you dress up
totally-
to go there.
Not good.
Well,
Fuck
no,
'em.
there is. They're just keeping a secret from the rest of us.
It's probably a good idea. You probably have to get LSD.
There are places.
We took Jordan out to eat barbecue at Lambert's the other night.
Uh-huh.
We all went out, and I noticed that when we got there, everyone had changed out of what they were wearing at work into
Except
something
Gus.
different, except for me. I was the only person still wearing the
The
same
only
clothes.
one still
I was
He was
"Nah,
wearing
fuck
like a
that."
tracksuit.
He's wearing his
Where'd you go,
dismemberment plan shirt.
downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a gourmet barbecue place. You were out of town.
It's off
You were out of
second.
Yeah,
town.
you weren't here.
It's off
This
second.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Over by the city hall.
Are you, Joel, you look upset that we
No,
go
I'm
without
just,
you.
I'm just shocked that you went somewhere that doesn't suck.
Really?
I picked it.
Yeah, because you guys are all good for you. Because they're always want to you guys always want to go out to those effing barbecue places or out in Lockhart or
Those
whatever.
places are awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
They're not awesome. They're
Joel,
not awesome. Lambert's is awesome.
I just brought you lunch yesterday from a tiny little restaurant in downtown Buda. And were you happy about that?
I was ecstatic.
Yes. It's
No, that
Joel's.
place sucks. This way I'm
No, Garcia's
was-
is awesome.
He was
I
like,
don't- I don't
"Oh,
want-
this is amazing."
I don't want to drive my expensive car.
It's Joel's favorite thing in the entire world is a piece of fried chicken, what they call chicken fried chicken.
For some
Which
reason.
is like the definition of America.
Right.
To me.
Take a chicken and chicken fry it.
Exactly.
And it is covered in queso, melted cheese. Or as Thalia says,
salsa.
Queso.
queso.
I was in California for the break, and I asked for some queso, and they were like, and I could tell, and sure enough, they did. There was no queso.
I didn't know
It
what
was
queso
like,
was when I moved here.
God,
Did they melt some Kraft into like a
Yeah,
little?
yeah. That's what they did. It was terrible. Anyway,
Well, we brought Barbara in here
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barb.
Hello.
because I was hoping to have her start talking about community stuff because you're our community manager.
I
right?
am.
So what do you got for us? What's going on in the community this week?
This week we actually just started our first contest of the year, which is a music video contest. Basically, if you want to join the contest, you just have to make a video involving anything from the Season 9 soundtrack, and then upload it on your video page, and then submit it to the contest, and we'll accept it or delete it if it sucks.
I'll have a link where people can do that right now, so make sure you
Thank you.
send me a link.
I will, for the link dump.
How are the video submissions so far?
They're good. They're good. Some of them are really awesome, really funny. Most of them, people have just been
if you
taking
don't
footage.
if you don't like it, you're going to delete it.
No, but if it doesn't fall in the rules, I'm going to delete it.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should delete it.
Well,
I mean,
not accept it
You
for
should
the
put
contest.
archive it somewhere.
Archive it in the trash can.
That's a Ben question.
Do our contests have like official rules up or anything like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Really?
We do.
And
It's got a list right here.
I do have a list. I brought notes with me.
Bernie, were you going to enter?
No, that wasn't.
You might have an unfair advantage.
I think probably one of the bigger rules is you have to be in North America, so we don't end up shipping something all the way around the world.
Yeah, someone from, I think it was Singapore, asked if he could join, and I was like,
I think one of the first contests that Brandon ran, he made the mistake of not specifying that, and we had to ship one of those giant Brutal Legend statues to Australia.
that was me doing that
Oh, it was
contest.
you?
Yeah.
One of the other idiots.
awkward.
I was still young in the company. I've learned better now. We just did an Achievement Hunter contest, and we worked with Insert Coin Clothing, and they're based out of England. And I was like, how about we just give you the emails of the people who win, and you ship it? And they're like, okay, no problem. And they're like, anywhere in the world? Like, yep, no problem. I was like, awesome.
Well, they probably do that all day, right?
Yeah, so it was super, super easy. So thank you, Insert Coin Clothing. We appreciate you guys.
This portion of the podcast brought to you by Insert Coin Clothing.
So what kind of shirts they have at Insert Coin? What would we?
It's
end
all
up
video
shipping?
game stuff. Like, did you see that Assassin's Creed hoodie I had the other
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they made that.
That's a very,
It's a nice
very
hoodie.
popular hoodie. Like I've seen the thing spring up everywhere.
Yeah.
They have a Stormtrooper one too that I see. Oh,
yeah?
not an Insert Coin, but
Yeah.
there is in existence a Stormtrooper one.
Anyway, so Barbara, Joel cut you off. What were you saying?
When does your contest end?
It ends on January 31st at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you could find the contest section on the website under the members tab. It's new.
Wow.
-6 GMT. Does Canada have the same time zones as America?
Yes.
Really?
We do. I
Take
know.
that.
People were like, "You're in Canada. What time is it up there?" And I was like, "It's the same time as it is in America." Just
Did you hear?
go up.
Did you hear that? I believe it was some island in the Pacific. I think it was Samoa. Did not have a Friday last week
Yeah.
What?
yeah, they
because
shifted.
they moved from one side of the international date line to another. So they went from Thursday to Saturday.
I would totally get rid of a Monday. Why
Yeah.
would you get rid of a Friday?
I don't know if you get to choose. I think it just
Was it their decision, or did the International Date Authority move?
I think it was their decision. If I recall the article I read, they were on this side of the date line because they wanted to be on the same side of the date line as the United States for trade purposes. But as global powers change, they decided that's not as important to them. So they've switched to the other side of the date line.
Oh, I see.
I love
Wow. Yeah, Joel, you think that's great, don't you?
I love that. That's great.
God. It's funny too because when you travel across the international date line, which Australia, when we go down there to promote DVDs, it's across the international date line. And once you do that one time, you base your whole life off time is consistent. It's like the one constant thing in your life. Once you cross the international date line, you're like, oh yeah, this is all bullshit too. It's all just made up garbage. I mean, completely. It's like in Australia, I'm on the next day, but 8 hours behind you. It's stupid. It is completely arbitrary and dumb. And people were pointing that out when your birthday came up. They said that
The second you
congratulations on your 30th year rotating around the sun, which is just makes no sense.
I guess.
I mean, the second you cross the international date line, they tell you Santa doesn't actually exist. It's just one of those things.
they say
Like,
the Easter Bunny's not real, and they punch you in the face.
Right.
All right. Welcome to Australia.
Suck it up.
When I was in London this last time and you guys were down in Australia, I realized that I was 6 hours behind the office and you all were 6 hours behind me. Like we had people spread evenly around the world.
Yeah, I think like Australia and London are perfectly apart from each other. They're opposite hemispheres both ways.
The sun never sets on the Rooster Teeth Empire.
What is if you drill right through the earth? What do you get? Because they would say China in the Bugs Bunny cartoon.
killed.
It depends where you are.
You end up in the South Pacific, a little northwest of Australia.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the antipode or antipode. I don't know how to say it.
Are we the pode?
God, I have not heard that term since 10th grade geology.
They're the antipode.
They are the antipode and we are the pode. I also read a weird stat too of like how little we have drilled into the earth.
Oh
Yeah.
It's just like man, there's a lot of weird things. I read also that if you in ratio their size, that the Earth is smoother than a cue ball on a pool table.
Really?
That the variations,
I heard that, yeah.
the variations. You know, if you take the Marianas Trench and then the Mount Everest, the highest and lowest variations of the surface of the Earth compared to the overall diameter of the Earth, that it's insignificant, like the same variations on a cue ball, less than.
I heard a
fascinating.
statistic that every time I drop this statistic, people get angry at me and they yell at me. And they tell me I'm
I'm
wrong.
excited.
Is it a stock thing?
No, but here's the statistic. I mean, I heard in a documentary, it was about satellites, and the statistic was, not counting the oceans, 95% of the Earth, human eyes have not seen 95%.
That's
Of the
bullshit.
surface.
You said,
Wow.
that's
That's
such
bullshit.
horseshit. I've heard you say it before. That's not true. I've seen
They yell at
95%
people get angry and they
Cite
yell
your
at me
source,
every,
sir.
every time.
You're saying not
bullshit.
including the ocean?
Not including the ocean.
Including the ocean, I'd believe you.
I might.
See how angry they are?
Yeah.
They're all so angry right now.
Gus, do you think you've seen 5% of the landmass of the Earth?
Personally?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, 5%. I have a globe at home. I've seen a lot.
I don't know what to say. Maybe they're
seen
just,
that.
I've worked my way through most of it.
This could be another international Dateline issue where documentaries are just fucking making shit up. They're just going to say whatever the fuck they want. I mean, that could be.
True, why not? Who's gonna stop
Who's
it?
going to stop them? They're going to say whatever they want. I don't know.
It is weird though when you get perspective for things like that. When it's like, you know, we're just little guys walking around the planet. You think, oh, like Mount Everest is huge, but then in comparison to something else, it's this tiny little bump.
I mean, I feel like I've been all over the goddamn place. I mean,
Yeah.
especially the last 3 days. I've flown everywhere. I've seen everything, you know, and it's like, I mean, how many times have I gone from Dallas to LA? I've driven that like 10 times, you know, and it's like there's Highway 10 and then there's Highway 40. I've taken both of them, you know, and it's like I've gone this way back and forth 10 times, but it's like, what about the space in between the 10 and the 40? Those giant chunks of land of nothing, and it's just like, well, I haven't seen any of that.
You make a
know,
good point.
You know, it's like,
Yeah, you make
and
a
it's
good
like,
point.
and you look on a map, and it's like, well, okay, I was going down Highway 10. What's a line? That's like probably the line on the map is too big to
Yeah, but
represent.
what's the statistic that like 95% of it is not seen by humans at all?
Right.
Because I mean, someone has been there.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Somebody.
I don't know. I mean, that
I think a
was the first-
helicopter pilot alone was
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Just looking down.
I don't know. I mean, like you talk about the islands, but there's still people living on those islands, and
Let's put it in perspective too. I mean, think about how many times there's been search parties. I mean, sent outs where they look
And
for
they-
stuff or fighting fires. I mean,
that's true. Like people who go into national parks, it's like he's dead.
Yeah, you think it's
Well,
bullshit.
you've never found
People who got lost and
Yeah.
died, they saw it.
Stat is bullshit.
astronauts have seen everything.
That's true.
Oh, snap.
I guess it's like how,
Backpedal. Here we go.
they've only seen 50% of it. Well, I guess rotation. I don't know.
They
They don't orbit or anything like
the
that.
weirdest one of the weirdest things I ever had for perspective ever was I think I was flying from New York to Seattle, and I guess they just go straight. So that takes you way over North Canada. So we were, you know, just like because the globe is round, you know, it looks on a map like you just go west, but you just I know it's spherical. Here we
Wow.
go. I'm blowing your fucking mind here.
What?
So we ended up going like way over North Canada to do that trip. And it was like just ice tundra everywhere. And I was kind of freaked out by that, like being over that. And I was looking down.
Just because that Wolves movie you saw. But
No, this was way before it.
This was alive.
So, you know, when you're in a
Being chilly.
plane and you're at 35,000 feet and you're cruising along, you're looking at the horizon, you know, out the side, and you're just like, going along, right?
Right.
So I just had to be looking out the window and looking down, and I guess maybe 2,000 or 3,000 feet below us, another 747 going the opposite direction path. I've never seen that before. We passed each other going the opposite direction. Motherfucker. We were going this way, they're going this way. That thing went by so goddamn fast. I thought it was a UFO at first. I mean, it's like you don't realize how fast you're moving up it there.
yeah.
Yeah, plus
It's
you're
funny,
moving,
you
and
were-
it's moving the opposite direction
Yeah.
at probably the same speed, so it doubles it. It like I don't know if you remember, there was those two planes that collided midair over Brazil.
We talked about this,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, as soon as they're like, is that a... And it's over.
Yeah, it's like they talk about the closing speed. It was a 737 that hit a brand new Embraer, I believe, and they said that the reaction time was like less than a second. Like you would see the speck and then it's gone.
Yeah.
You pass so
You know
fast.
what's funny is they talk about those. They said the hardest thing to do, like in national defense, is like hitting a rocket with another rocket. Like
Yeah.
the amount of math it takes is like it's almost impossible. Like you have lost the statistical lottery when you're in an airplane and you hit another airplane.
What the fuck?
I mean, that's like, I mean, impossible.
Yeah, it's like we've played Old Republic lately, and when you do the taxis, you get in one of those cars that flies through
And they're on a track, yeah.
Coruscant,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and it flies, and like you see all the other cars flying around. Even though everything's on a track and it's a video game, you're like, this would never fucking work. You know, all the people driving in the sky, it just would never work.
What was that thing? Did you guys see the thing on Reddit where everyone's? It was also on. I can't remember what it was also on. The thing with the floating track.
Yeah, the Wipeout
The
XL,
Japanese
the
Institute of
quantum
Science.
levitation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fake.
I know, yeah, of
It
course
ca- it
it's
came out
fake.
that it's fake.
That
I
was
totally
so-
bought into it,
That
by the
was
way.
so
Sounds
okay.
fake.
See, that was so fake to me. The second I saw it, I was like, "Who possibly is going to buy this?"
No, you've seen the quantum levitation thing, right? Before.
I have seen that. When
Yeah,
it frees
I
that
have-
ceramic disc.
Yeah, you make something super cool, and then like an electromagnet will actually make it float, and you can lock it in place. That is real.
Okay.
and so
maybe that's why.
So this video came out
never
where it
seen
was
that.
essentially someone took that concept and applied it to like a Wipeout XL track. So they made like these little Wipeout figures.
couldn't you tell
And they
us
were
just
able-
by the way?
Wipeout.
Wipeout's an old racing game. It was on like the Genesis, I think, or PlayStation or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And so they made this track where like essentially it was like a Wipeout car that was driving and like going 90 degrees
Before they
flat up
even
on a
show
wall.
you the cars. Before they even show you the cars, they got that goofy music going. I was like, this is fake.
Wait, how did the music go again?
Anytime you hear the music going, that's fake. It's not real. And it's like they got the guy in the white lab coat with the glove. It's like, give me a fucking break.
Well, Joel wins the racist award for this podcast.
Why don't you sing the Tetris theme song to balance it out?
Really?
No one was anybody's uncle in that video.
You might be surprised. There might have been some Uncle Scientist.
There were probably some uncles.
So ridiculous. It's like white lab coat and the rubber glove. It's so ridiculous.
I love fake stuff like that. Like we talked about one time before, the guy who, and I saw it when I was a kid, and I was one of the people who fell for it. The guy from the Back to the Future 2 special,
Oh, everyone fell for that.
who casually mentioned
Everyone
that the
fe-
hoverboards were real.
Executed on that perfectly. He
Yeah.
just threw it in as like a side note. And you're like, wait, what?
What? Yeah.
And it's like and it's like then
They didn't have to do anything special to make the hoverboards in Back to the Future 2 because Mattel has them, but parents groups just keep them off the market. So we just got Mattel to give us a couple prototypes, and all the kids are like, "What?"
Everyone locks onto that. Like, talk more about that.
Yeah, it's gone. And for years, I would talk to people who were like, "Yeah, those things really exist."
I
but-
saw an interview with that guy like 5 years after the fact, and he was like, "God damn, I really wish I hadn't said that." You know?
Because it was before the internet. Like, no one could verify. You couldn't research
No.
more. It was like,
no, and it still got out there.
Everyone knew a guy whose cousin had one.
you had to
something
send
like
a
that.
self-addressed stamped envelope to Mattel and hope for a reply.
I mean, it's like you think about childhood. It's like childhood is so magical. Well, the reason why childhood is so magical is because you're a fucking idiot.
You're naive,
You don't
yeah.
know anything.
Yeah, everything's new.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just like this could be. Nothing could be.
I'm still like that.
You're Canadian.
Yeah.
So.
know,
Anything else in the community?
What else we got going on? I feel like we keep derailing you.
Well, I could list the prizes.
We had
Oh, we're still talking about it.
we had
first.
that.
If you want.
We had
I
that
mean,
other. Didn't we have that
fun,
other
but-
community contest where you're supposed to make your own track with floating cars?
And it was-
That's next month.
that was my interpretation.
Did you guys mention the IAW TV Awards yet?
No.
I would like to talk about that.
I briefly said I would be going back to Vegas to attend the IAW TV Awards, but Barb, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, we are nominated for a few awards of the IAW TV, which is the International Academy of Web Television. I memorized that. Yes, clap, good job.
Which I'm a proud member.
For Immersion and Red vs. Blue. It's on January 12th, and it's going to be streamed live on YouTube. YouTube.com/IAWTVORG.
Oh, they're gonna stream it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get fucked up. Is there gonna be a dinner, or is it just like
is there a 5-second delay?
Is there a bar?
There's a pre-reception which they have now filled. So
Everybody's gonna see Gus's penis.
they saw they had tickets available, but then they saw Joel's shoes and said no.
So what time is it?
It's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
-6 GMT.
Yes.
That's next Friday or next Saturday?
It's, I think, on Thursday. It's the 12th of January.
12.
Time zones are a major problem. And you've said times 2 different times in this podcast.
Yeah.
You're going to learn that is that people
These are the two things humanity needs to fix: time zones and phonetics.
phonetics.
We need to just institute phonetics, and everyone drop their own language. We're all going to be on the phonetics.
Esperanto.
yeah.
All right, what else you got?
That's it. So do you think that the US system should adopt a metric system?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean
I'm not biased.
I agree. I think we should have the metric system here. You know what's weird about American? I mean,
Although
it's
everyone
funny.
needs to pick up Fahrenheit and drop Celsius.
No.
I agree.
Absolutely.
No way. 0 is freezing. 100 is boiling. How fucking easy is that?
But here's why it doesn't matter: is that's
water.
why you need that?
See,
how often are you boiling
The
water?
deal is, temperature relates to
These
you
guys don't
as
make
far
food.
as like temperature outside to your body. You don't give a shit once it's above 106 Celsius because you're dead,
yeah,
right?
No, Fahrenheit is
or
based
not
on on humans. Celsius is based on water. What are you? Are you water or are you human?
I'm mostly water.
Well, she's a water human.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. That's what you are.
She's right.
Also, there's-
You're mostly water.
Jack just looks like a 50-pound weight got put on his shoulders. Like,
I'm mad today.
He's getting over it.
I'm watching Jack.
So angry today. Let's talk more about how fun Vegas was.
Fuck you guys.
Speaking of 106 degrees, it was 106 degrees in Vegas. But no, so like here's Celsius. So
We've
what
had
is
this
your body?
conversation
What is
before, by the way.
what is your body temperature in Celsius?
I think it's like 36.
36. Okay.
Like
so
36.
let's just say 40 is like a really super hot day. All the
It is,
Canadians
yeah.
die. So what's between 40 degrees and 100 degrees Celsius?
You don't go outside.
Anything. Like give me like what is 70 degrees Celsius? Anything that would be 70 degrees. What's that? What would that mean?
it means it's time to put the turkey in the
Yeah.
oven.
Yeah.
Like 70 degrees Celsius. Have you ever used 70 degrees Celsius ever?
No.
So you have this range of temperatures, and you only use
Well,
really 0 through 40,
maybe-
and then 100.
Maybe the scientists.
That's what's weird about
They use
Celsius.
Kelvin, don't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, scientists use Kelvin. I mean, it depends on who you ask, but I mean, they don't use Fahrenheit. I can almost guarantee. See, that's the
If we change any of these systems, like what happens to the productivity of like the United States? Like in other words, like I remember when the first time I looked at the keyboard, it's like why did they arrange a keyboard in this manner?
The
Like what-
QWERTY cube.
Like why are the letters in this order?
should use
You
the
know
Dvorak.
why, right?
No, why?
Because old typewriters would get jammed up if you typed too fast.
Okay, see-
so they had to make a layout that slowed down your ability to type,
Right.
and it just
Which
never
is-
changed.
which
down
is
for, like,
stupid now.
10 minutes and
It's
then-
worthless.
Yeah, which is stupid now. So it's like, but it's like if we stopped and rearranged the keyboard in a more, I don't know.
Well,
I think it's pretty arbitrary.
There's another common layout called Dvorak, which essentially puts the most used keys on your home row. And so some people do use that keyboard. I had a
Who
teacher in
u-
high
who
school.
uses that?
I had a teacher in high school, a computer science teacher.
The Dvorak system?
Dvorak.
Dvorak.
D-V-O-R-A-K.
Dvorak sounds better. They should change it.
Is that dude still alive? Like I hear about a Dvorak all the time. Is that the guy?
I think Captain Picard found him in season 5. He was somewhere in the Dvorak system.
I want to go back for just 1 second and talk about something that was like urban legend as kids that we didn't know if it existed or not. I remember we had to mail away to get the Boba Fett action figure,
Oh, right.
and there was always the myth that there was the Boba Fett that fired a missile off his back.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so funny. Like you're on the other side of the. You're like, we didn't even know it. It's like
Yeah.
the same fucking things.
It's in here. I just looked it up. There's an urban legend that it exists, and it's like people still to this day, collectors argue that no one has one, but they argue it definitely exists. That there is a Boba Fett action figure
We had a
that has
funner,
lost the time.
We had a funner childhood than
Funner.
funnerer than they'll have because it's like we had magic, man. We had missiles that may or may not have shot off of Boba Fett's back.
and shot into your mouth and choked you to death.
Yeah,
There's
right.
that
That's
idiot-
why that. Yeah.
Some idiot in Ohio that choked himself, and then now nobody can have the Boba Fett, which fires a missile for real.
What else you got, Barbara?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. 70 Celsius is 158 Fahrenheit, by the way. Never going to use that.
What do you use? What do you use? 158.
That's why it's outside our 100 range. Our 0 to 100 range is our useful range,
Our 0 to 40.
That's less of a scale.
and it gives us more precision within
Within the range.
Within the range.
There's a bigger gap between 39 and 40 than there is between 39 in Celsius than in Fahrenheit.
Like if I say it's 72 degrees in the room, it's like, well, let's take it down to 70. You're like 35 to 34. That's like a 4-degree jump for us. You know what I mean? It's not as precise.
I'm totally on board with metric, but I got to say I think Fahrenheit's a little better for day-to-day human life.
I think you know what? I think you guys have nailed it. I think you
I
put
agree.
this argument to rest.
We've
I think
always
this is
said
it.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
No, this has been brought up before in the podcast. I think when Gavin was over here, something like
The
that.
other argument that you can make about Fahrenheit is that 0 to 100 is the livable, survivable range
This
of temperature.
is the only reason
if you
we
get below
bring,
0
we
degrees
find
Fahrenheit,
people who are not Americans, so we can bring them into the company, so we can yell at them.
You can live
About
under
their
0
system.
degrees Fahrenheit.
no, you can, but you got to watch out. You could die. Over 100 degrees, you can live as well,
It was
but
minus,
be careful.
minus 17 Fahrenheit in the city I'm from the other day. With
And-
a wind chill.
So but you could die from that.
now, wind chill's bullshit.
Wind chill is bullshit.
That's another story. That's
Like
another
we
argument.
routinely get over 100 degrees here, but that's suddenly in the range where okay, we got to be careful. We could die.
Yeah,
like
old people die when it gets over 100 degrees.
Yeah, And
so-
people die.
We
when
don't
it's-
have old people in Canada.
Weed them out
In
early.
Canada, water boils over 100 degrees. It's weird.
social health care in Canada. They just dissolve them at 70 and turn them into food. That's what poutine is.
It's like some perverted Logan's Run. The crystal goes off, and next thing you know, you're over a batch of fries.
It was right around 1960 when Tim Hortons coffee got really good all of a sudden. They never explained what the secret
Special
was.
ingredient.
Is this thing plugged into the back important? Because it looks like it's just hanging on.
No, it's a USB
Don't
plug.
touch it. It is very important. Don't touch it.
It's still working, right?
No, we're recording. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Barbara.
No problem.
Thanks, Barb.
Thank you,
Give me my
Barbara.
microphone back. We look forward to future updates from you.
All right.
When will people be able to see these entries at all before the pod? I guess probably not. That would be unfair.
No, they're in the gallery.
I mean, that's totally fair.
Good idea.
It's part of the official rules.
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
Barbara threw a chair out the window.
So we had dinner last night at Mighty Fine.
I'm really sorry I couldn't come, but
You're not that
no,
sorry.
I really am sorry. Your 30th birthday, I'm really sorry. I would like to go out with you this weekend.
So Joel went home last night and
you
decided
brushed
not
me
to
off.
come
You know
out.
what? You
I was
were-
on a fucking.
He's still mad about Vegas.
I was on a fucking airplane. Like I had to make train. I had to stop in Dallas, and it's just like I get a text message from Jack. It's like, as soon as your plane lands, midnight, head to this bar. And it's like, okay, I guess this is his birthday or whatever. But it's like I can't get into one of these cycles. I'm happy that it's your birthday. I want to celebrate your birthday.
Okay.
But I cannot get in one of these cycles where we celebrate your birthday 9 times.
It's twice.
Okay.
Well, once at midnight because I
why
was
don't we
at home.
Why
I
don't we
want to
wait?
be out
Why
of the
don't we
bar.
wait till Friday or Saturday, and then we'll celebrate your birthday?
All right, we'll do something.
I would like to go out with you this weekend. And celebrate
Okay,
your
we'll do
birthday.
something.
I really am sorry I could not go out last night.
So we.
He's just brushing
No,
me
he
off.
said okay.
No, I said
He
okay. He said Saturday or we'll do something.
He's not
I said, fine.
acknowledging my. He's not like it's okay or anything. It's like you're
Oh.
fine.
Well,
He's like-
he's secretly he's
Yeah.
angry. Maybe it's not okay.
totally.
Whatever, that's fine.
All right. So what happened?
Okay, so
You
we
went
go out
Fine.
to Mighty Fine last night, and so Jordan and I start talking, and
God.
and so Jordan's telling me we're talking about Rooster Teeth.
I wasn't
and
talking
stuff.
to you.
He looks worried.
He was very worried. So this was a story, and like we started talking, and then Jordan was like,
I'm gonna leave.
Jordan's like he brought up the story. He's like, oh, you can't talk about this. I'm like, no, you have to tell the story on the podcast.
I don't even think
So,
anyone
tell the
remembers.
story.
So you remember when the whole Conan O'Brien debate went down?
Yeah.
And like Bernie, you were very anti Conan O'Brien. You were saying fuck that guy for leaving the network, blah blah blah. Or
Let's not get into it.
okay,
This was so
Why
long
are we
ago.
so sensitive about Conan O'Brien?
okay,
It's not about
okay,
And as far as I recall, what I said was that people were making a big hubbub about the dude.
okay.
Okay.
Internet hubbub.
Internet hubbub.
And I
about the
knew
dude.
nothing. Okay.
Okay, so there was a fan on the site
Yes.
who basically he said something to you in a comment, and you shredded the guy in the podcast. Do you remember doing that?
No.
Yeah. So you brought it up on the
I'm
podcast.
putting this together now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so you brought it up on the podcast and said this guy is wrong and called him out by name, and so people went onto his page and started trashing the guy.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
So that guy's in this room right now.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah, you don't remember that, do you?
No. So it was you. It was you in particular.
Just another nameless victim.
more fodder
So-
for the cannon.
No, I had totally remembered that.
Yeah, so apparently that guy was
I bet you
Jordan, and you just totally ripped into him.
That's awesome.
And then 6 months later, he made the first animated adventure.
Yeah.
Jordan.
He absolutely did
What?
not want me to
Smack him.
say this. By the way,
Just
He-
smack him.
Yeah.
He's like,
You're in the room with him.
He
Smack
was,
him.
he was desperately
Fight.
So what podcast was that? So we can go back. 45.
You remember this? Like, I'm trying to find
It's because people always request it for animated adventures. It's like, yeah, number 45, that one thing where
Yeah.
everyone yells at you.
There it is.
Shut up.
So
Rooster Teeth podcast gets worked up about late night television.
It's in the linked up right there.
Jay Ordan's post. It's right there in the linked up still. You can still click it.
No.
so anyway,
Well, I apologize
it was-
for whatever I said.
It was
Oh
2
my
years
God.
ago.
I tried to open the
We're
tab and
over.
he closed it. Okay, just so you know, like he took the iPad from me.
Give me that.
It was like smash.
By the way, Jordan, Bernie is also not going to go to your birthday party.
That is true. That is
so
true.
anyway, I thought that was brilliant. And then 6 months later, you made the first animated adventure,
Yeah.
and now you're bestest of friends with us. But
Yep.
God, that's awesome.
anyway, so obviously Bernie hated you.
That was
What
the-
is-
that-
People, did
apparently-
people pile on the site or whatever?
Yeah, it was that mob mentality you were talking about last week.
People should not fucking do
jackass.
It's like, God.
It's great when it works for you. Like, yes, go destroy him for liking Conan. Well,
I'm not sure I want people. I'm not sure I want people on our site attacking other people on our site. You know, over
I think so.
shit that
Maybe
we're
this is
talking
an
about.
elaborate ploy. Like maybe he's going to kill you. And
Yeah.
this is his whole thing just to get here.
And RTA is gonna like slowly whittle away at my personality. You know, my image.
I think the lesson here in the long run is that we were right.
So listen, so Conan O'Brien moved over to TBS. Does anybody in this room watch Conan O'Brien? You were one of the people who was like,
Oh, fucking Barbara was one of the people too. It's too bad she wasn't.
I DVR it. I watch it every now and then.
do you?
Yeah.
I go to Conan on a regular basis.
Yeah, I actually think Barbara does too. So
She was a huge Conan
Yeah, Barbara really likes
person or whatever. And it's like I remember having a conversation with her, and it's like I feel like at one point she was like, "Oh, well, I'm in Canada. We don't have Conan." I was like,
it's one of those things where the internet can make something seem extraordinarily relevant for a short period of time, like
Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah, exactly, like Snakes on a Plane. The Conan thing seemed like the most important news story in the world when it was going on. Like people were like going out and
They were-
protesting.
And 2
They
years
were-
later, we're still talking about it. Shut up about it.
The funny thing is, we're not watching it though.
Yeah. So it's I don't know, how's it doing over there? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I was never really into it. I heard it was doing meh.
I heard they canceled that George Lopez show after he moved his show an hour to accommodate Conan.
Yeah.
And then they ended up canceling
Sounds
it.
familiar.
Wow.
Well, also I heard, and this is only rumor. I heard that George Lopez isn't funny.
I heard that too.
I mean, I don't know if that's.
I didn't. I
think,
heard
I
it
think you
and
stole
saw
that joke from every other comedian.
I might have. I might
He
have.
stole that joke from Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, there you go.
I heard that's what he does. I'm not sure if that's true. Like he takes jokes from other.
I think you're thinking about
comedians.
Carlos Mencia.
And
Yeah,
then,
it's Carlos Mencia's.
You're not thinking about George
Lopez.
Lopez. You're being racist, actually.
Yeah,
Whether or not you
you
realize
are.
it.
No, I just don't pay attention. Well, are they all Canadian?
There you go, exactly. They'll be melted into poutine.
They're Japanese scientists.
Wait, Jordan, we kind of glossed over some. Did you say you actually go to watch Conan? Like you? Go,
Yeah.
Actually,
Like
it's
in the audience, because you're
Yeah.
you're in Los Angeles, right?
Oh, I thought you meant when you went to the website. Yeah, I didn't think you're in California.
Yeah, I go to the show. I've been to like 4 tapings.
Nice.
Can I tell you something? I've never been to see a single television show be taped except for Conan O'Brien.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I went with Matt one time we were in LA. We went to go watch a show be taped.
It's always better live, right?
You know what? I'm going to take that back. It wasn't Conan O'Brien.
Ah,
It was
You saw Craig Ferguson.
Craig Kilborn.
Craig Kilborn. Ugh.
Before,
wow.
before
I don't even know who that
That was
Yeah.
after Daily Show, and
I
before
totally
he got-
take that back. Yeah, when he had that
Before
late
the
night
door
show.
hit him in the ass.
God.
comedians are all you mix them all.
Dude, I
up.
used to watch Craig Kilborn and Carl Ravitch on ESPN all the time.
I stood in for that Scottish guy, Craig. What's his face?
Ferguson?
Yeah, I stood in for him one time. Fucking
you-
way taller than me.
That makes
from
it sound like you hosted his show when you said it that way.
Not at all. Yeah, no. In a
You're talking
movie.
about the guy who was on the Drew Carey show for a while, right? Greg
Yeah,
Ferguson.
yeah.
He has his own late night show.
I went and saw him in a concert down at the Paramount. Or,
He's a
you know,
funny
live
dude,
performance.
man.
He's a funny dude.
What does he play?
What's that?
What does he play?
A midget, apparently. He had like a half-dressed midget there with him, dancing around. It was pretty interesting.
He's like Kid Rock with Josie.
Hey, you ever watched the Craig Ferguson show?
Wow. That's
Yeah, it's funny.
That's a
Not
reference
for like
right there,
2
guys.
minutes.
He is wacky as hell. Like
Yeah.
he does the whole thing with a sock puppet all the time. This
And he's
little-
got
I love
a
soccer.
robot sidekick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a robot that's a skeleton.
named Jeff.
Yeah.
Spelled like
Yeah,
our Jeff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I've
really
never seen this show.
It's
and I have no idea
Dude,
what the
there's
fuck's
a-
going
Let
on.
us describe it to you. You'll want to watch
Yeah.
it.
There was a bit where
yeah.
he broke down, like they lost character and started cracking up, and while he was talking to this robot skeleton thing, it's one of the funniest things ever. I'll send you the clip.
He
There
does.
was did you see the? I'm sorry.
No, he does like a 20 to 30 minute monologue every night. And he does this weird
Jesus.
thing where he's like right up next to the camera, and he even has like a bar on the front of the camera that he'll lean on. Like it's like a thing where he grabs the front of the camera when he's talking, leans on it, and it's almost like talking to somebody at a bar. Like they get like that close to you and like lean in and all that. He's funny as shit.
Does he get really drunk too?
He's
and start calling people?
I think he has a history of being a drunk, and he's like a recovering guy, and he talks about that stuff a lot. But
But
he's,
they do stuff like they'll do like lip dub stuff every now and then, like puppets, where like they'll start playing a song, and then like these puppets will come in and start singing with them.
Recovering guys are never as funny as when they're.
that's not true.
Not recovering.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that that's different about him?
Oh,
is that
is he the
he's-
one guy
he
who's
kept the
funny or
personality.
sober?
Yeah, he kept the personality.
Man.
Yeah, he's a funny. I would highly recommend if you're gonna watch anything on late night TV. Craig Ferguson show is the standout, in my opinion.
Or the Daily Show.
The only thing I've seen out of Conan O'Brien out of the last year that was funny to me was when they brought that the Triumph dog onto the Wall Street Occupy Wall Street people, like that 5-minute segment.
I haven't seen that.
God, that is fucking hysterical,
Dude,
I don't laugh. at
Triumph
anything.
is funny.
You know,
I mean,
Yeah.
It was Robert Schmeigel.
Yeah.
we forgot. I told Brady about this yesterday. We forgot a video that we should have talked about for Internet Video of the Year.
Yeah.
We've already got a couple.
I'm ashamed to say.
We always forget it.
We always
know
forget
that.
it.
We forgot the reporter who had a stroke live on air.
Was that
I
last
remember
year?
that.
Was that last year?
I believe it was.
Huh.
Reporter that had
That was right around the air.
There's like the woman. She didn't really have a stroke. She just forgot how to talk.
It was like the NBA playoffs, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's talking about something.
Like they had to cut away from her.
Major Champion.
Maybe she was speaking another language.
We also forgot the dog that talks, and the owner's like teasing the dog and telling him he made him a treat.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that was
you and I really like the other one of that, which
The
was
cat.
The cat was a bad mystic.
Yeah, the cat.
Here, that's gone.
What do you mean it's gone?
It's gone. It's not on YouTube anymore.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
The
mouse.
cross my palm with tuna.
Mouse.
Yeah, that video is gone.
the reporter that has a.
Let's go ahead. Terrace Chase and let's put it. They have the pet.
Okay, to me, the reason why that may not, if we have an argument why that's not a legitimate candidate, is because I saw that played a lot, but it was on TV a lot, and it sort of, I don't know, it lost its internet.
No.
It originated on TV, but I think it really gained its legs on the internet. Though.
Didn't they say she was like having a stroke? And then
No,
it came
I
out
remember
that
them.
wasn't
I
true?
remember them.
She had a
reporting
stroke
it.
with no side effects that didn't require a hospital stay.
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah, and then I remember they had follow up stories on TV about it or whatever. And it was like, so I heard about it on TV.
Yeah, if anybody can find that cat is a bad mystic video.
Are you sure that's gone? That thing had so many views.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just down. It's on that guy Klaatu's channel.
So the
Yeah.
cat apparently maybe was.
if
not
you
a
look in
mistake.
search,
cat was a fake.
The cat's like Rebecca Black now.
if you look in search, it auto completes. The cat is a bad mystic, but then the video is just non-existent. It was a cat in a cat carrier in a garden, and it was playing like a telepathic mystic, but it was very bad at it. You know?
Yeah.
Mouse.
Treat.
It was a funny video, but it's gone. And that was, I think, done by the same guy who did the talking dog, the ultimate dog tease, which, by the way, has 72 million views. Crazy.
That was it was the number 2 video on YouTube for last year, I think, behind Friday.
Wow. Funny video.
Yeah. They released like that top 10 YouTube
That's
videos.
weird. Why would
last year.
Why would anyone pull?
While we're going back, by the way, on awards that we just gave out from 2011, have you seen Moneyball, Joel?
Yes,
Okay. Moneyball's fantastic.
Moneyball's a very good. I talked about it. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think
okay.
it's.
I don't think
I don't think it's movie of the year.
That was pretty good.
I thought it was a good movie.
That Brad Pitt is a good-looking dude. I'm going to say that.
Yeah,
How old is he now?
he's getting up there.
50?
I think he's close to 50. Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think so.
How old was he when they made Fight Club? That was about, 10 years ago?
That was 99. So it was like 13 years ago
I'll
now.
look him up right now.
Wow.
Make your guesses. How old is Brad Pitt?
I'm gonna guess he turns 50 this year.
I'm going to say he's
49.
45. I'm shooting younger.
Brad Pitt was born in 1963.
He turns 49 this year.
49 this year.
All right.
Late in the year, though. So he's 48 right now.
So Fight Club
It's
came out
depressing when,
13
like,
years ago. He was 35.
Brad
Okay.
Pitt looks better at 49 than I did or will ever look at any age.
He's starting to look just like freaking Robert Redford, man.
Yeah,
As
he
I
is.
can see that. Yeah.
He is. Yeah, he really is.
It doesn't help that he's making baseball movies. You know,
No, he stepped right in there.
Yeah,
He really
he's
just
gonna
slid right
start
in
that film festival in Utah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all over.
That's coming up, by the way. Sundance is at the end of this month.
Oh right, yeah.
I think Nathan got another film into Sundance.
He's
Yeah.
he's like in the system now.
He's like 7 of 8 years he's had something in Sundance, and the 1 year that he didn't is just because he didn't submit something that year.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible streak
Yeah.
he's got going on.
He should get like a Super Roll ring for each year.
A Super Roll ring? What's a Super Roll ring?
Super Roll ring.
Is that like you go to the bakery and you eat 50 different croissants and they put
Guess
your name
what?
on a plaque?
It's like you mispronounced one syllable. Gus is on you.
You didn't correct yourself. You just kept trying to go. I'm not gonna look at that.
we gotta go.
Joe's having a stroke.
Page event. I can recall almost exactly what she said at the end there. Durst, we like transcribed it at one point. I remember. God, that poor woman. I feel so bad for her.
I feel bad for her because it's like if I wonder if she's out of a job.
No, she did interviews afterwards. I mean, she's like a local reporter, so it's
Oh,
like
is
that
she?
kind of
In
thing.
L.A. though.
And
LA?
we found other people too that there were other instances of that.
Yeah.
Like anchors were just all of a sudden they just went into gibberish mode. And there was a word. It was called dysphagia, if I recall correctly.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It's just something that happens in the brain every now and then where it's like, "Meh, you can't talk.
Did you see
Fuck
the video recently of the anchorman talking, and he was just reading off the reading off the teleprompter, and someone slipped in the line "I love lamp," and he just read it, and then like caught himself after he read it. It was like, oh god, what have I done? Like someone was messing with him. So he got anchormaned.
Yeah.
We should bring teleprompters in the podcast.
Either dysphagia or aphasia.
I would like to write Jack's teleprompter.
Aphasia, I guess.
Joel
would
number
be-
one. I smell.
Do you know that in high school I was a state champion in medical terminology? Do you know that?
That's a thing.
Yeah, I was in a.
State
Was there a
champion of
contest?
medical terminology. Okay, medical terminology. Okay, so what is the term for I have muscle pain, but only my toes?
Oh gosh, it would be my. Let me think. My muscle pain only your toe. I mean, it's all just like Latin and Greek roots elements. So there'd be Mayo would be in there, and then
See, it's all bullshit. I'm crossing across the international date line right now as you talk to me.
In his defense, it's just he went to high school like in the Old West.
it's true. I actually took all my high school courses in Latin, so it was easy for me to qualify.
He took his courses from a guy whose anesthetic was like a strap of leather and like a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, but they would give us like words like that, like the in dysphagia.
Is
you
there-
break
is there-
down what it meant.
Is there
you know?
like a term for
Like,
hair hurting?
First,
my hair hurts.
aphasia versus dysphagia would that be like tricho? Like, hair is tricho, right? So you ever heard the thing where people pull their hair out and eat it? You ever heard about that?
No,
Yeah,
that's a thing. People pull their hair out and eat it.
Trichophilia.
Have you ever heard of that show? It's like on one of those cable networks, My Strange Addiction.
Oh yeah.
It's like they had this one episode where this woman's husband had died and got cremated, and her addiction was she couldn't stop eating his ashes.
Oh god.
Wow.
So like the whole episode, she's like eating his ashes. She's just crying. She's like, because she's like, I know I'm gonna run out of them.
I know.
It's that.
Yeah, just trichophagia. So phagia, Phag is to eat, right? So and tricho's hair. So it's to eat your hair. Compulsive eating of hair associated with trichotillomania, hair pulling. So
Did she run out of the ashes?
They helped her.
So she got help.
Yeah.
She got more ashes.
She killed another
She
guy.
got married again.
yeah, and so it's just those little roots and all that stuff. And then you can look up on.
Are there people who like to pick their toenails and eat those?
Sure.
What is that called?
I don't know what toenails would be.
Gross.
You keep going back to toes. Why you-
I don't know because I'm thinking of gross body parts without being
The
dirty. I don't talk about scrotums or anything.
yeah, but you can look up images on like Google image search of people who have had to have these hair masses removed from their stomach, like massive,
Oh,
like
right.
4-pound hair balls,
Oh.
Yeah.
because they eat their own hair.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's usually women have with long hair, and then they put their hair in their mouth and eat it.
Have you seen that?
I don't know why I know that.
I
but-
mean, digest like the swallowing is different than sticking something in your mouth. I mean,
Tell me more about sticking stuff in your mouth and not swallowing.
is there a term?
Tell me more about this.
Is there a term for that?
Spitters versus swallowers.
I usually find the difference is about $50.
There's a coffee table book that came out last month called Stuck Up. There's just a collection of X-ray images of various things people have stuck up their ass.
Yeah.
That seems to make the rounds every now and then.
Yeah.
Like light bulbs.
Or Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
and-
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear with his wings extended. That was the best one.
Yeah, I saw a great Photoshop of that. Someone took that image and put, "I've got a friend in me."
Gross.
Which I thought was one of the greatest things
Oh
ever.
god.
I actually thought of a funny comic idea that I was going to talk to Luke about, just like as a one-off comic idea, which was the Toy Story guys, and they're all like sitting there talking to each other, and like, oh, someone's coming, and they all like fall down in that like kind of like that dead inanimate pose. It's like, hide until they're gone, and then everybody goes down. And the guy that comes in is like a security guy, an ADT security guy, and he installs a camera in the room, like a security camera, and then the last like 20 panels is him just sitting there. That's it. They're trapped in that inanimate hell forever.
It's like a single tear comes off what he's
It's like, what would happen if they got a baby monitor in that room? You know what I mean? Those toys would be fun.
See, that would have made a great third plot point in the movie. That's it. Movie's over. The audience just sits there for the next hour.
You just wrote Toy Story 4. Yeah. It'd be really cheap to animate, too.
They're done, right? Toy Story's got to be done. The way they closed that.
Well,
third
they did
one.
Well, no,
like-
I heard
that
they're bringing in
short.
Harrison Ford.
There's something about an alien skull.
Somebody's rectum in an X-ray.
God.
Buzz Lightyear gets his MD.
So going back to this medical contest thing, like, was it like a high school competition, or what how would you compete with was it like you sat in front of a room of people?
Medical terminology. Mm-hmm. Medical terminology.
What's
So-
the terminology for this?
Or would they give you terms and you had to define them,
Yeah.
or would they tell you stuff and then you had to give the term?
Well, they would give us the roots, and then we could tell what the root meant. Like he said hair, and I said tricho. I just knew that one just because I can't believe I recalled that after all these years. But, or they give us a word. They say, "What does this mean?" Like if they said
Trichophagia.
Trichophagia.
How many
Parody.
people were in this contest?
Oh, it was in high school. I was part of something called the Health Occupations Students of America. It's called HOSA.
God, I
And
forgot
so-
about that.
Yeah, HOSA.
All right, I'm sorry. Health occupations, what?
Students of America.
So you were walking in a hallway in a high school one day, and you saw a flyer that said health occupations.
Dude, I was on a
And you're
medical path, like through almost all the way through college. I was pre-med in college.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, in high school, I was like, I am not participating in anything.
Anything ever?
No.
Yeah, I was. I was on a path. I was going to be a doctor. That was what I wanted to be the entire time. But you'll appreciate this. So when I was a senior, I took my health rotation. So my entire senior year, 3 periods I had where I would go to the hospital. I'd go to the Southwest Memorial Hospital, and I would do clinical rotations there. Half the day of my high school, my senior year, I was gone. I was out of the high school. I was at the hospital.
I mean, was there any point in your life where it was like for me, it's like, ooh, gross, I don't want to be around that. But it's like, if you're a medical person, it's sort of like, well, I'm going to choose to be around that.
No, you nailed it. I mean, that's why first of all, the internet kind of came out of nowhere in the late 90s, and that really changed everything for me, and then I got involved with that. And I enjoyed that a lot more. When I went to college, I didn't even think you could make a living in computers. I didn't think that was a real thing. I thought it was just like a hobby that you did. And, I did clinical rotations, and I did rotations in the emergency room, and I just realized, as weird as it sounds, I like people too much to constantly watch them in pain.
See, I like that. It's funny because I've noticed that a lot about a lot of medical personnel. It's like, I feel like, it's like you're just a slab of, they just don't care. I mean, it's like, I guess you have to get to that point if you're in
Once you've
that
seen
profession. And
a
it's
Buzz
just,
Lightyear up someone's ass, that's it. Like, people are no longer people to you.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, these fucking animals, how are they going to hurt themselves now? How am I going to fix this asshole so he's going to go and fix his asshole? He's going to go stick something else up his butt.
I don't want to end the podcast on a down note or anything like that, but I did a rotation in a pediatric oncology lab, and it was just like, I did rotations in like clinical pathology, which is just basically like when they take something out of you, that's where it goes, so they dissect it and try to figure out what it is. That stuff was not interesting enough. And then I did emergency room rotations. That was it for me. I was done with that.
What's funny is I also was interested in the medical field when I was younger, and I spent some time at Ben Taub in Houston.
Dude, that is the trauma center in Houston.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I walked through there, they gave us a tour of the place, and it was a group of like 15 of us because we were entering some medical program, and we entered the morgue, and I could see people like that was it. Their medical career ended there. Like, there were people dead of cirrhosis of the liver. And they're explained, like, this person died of cirrhosis of the liver. You can see the external features here. Let's pull out the livers. And they like opened a giant drawer. Like, here are the good livers, here are the bad livers. And people like just lost it. People started leaving the room and throwing up.
didn't leave any mark on you because you just drink like
No,
crazy.
I don't give a fuck.
You're like, I want my liver to look like that.
But the most interesting thing about that room to me was, like our studio, they had giant electrical cords you could pull from the ceiling down. And when the students asked, why electrical cords up there, like, whenever we need the hand saw,
The saw.
to be able to cut someone's limb off or something out, we have to have PowerPoints all over the place to plug our tools in. And that was like half the room just left. It was like, that's it, they were done.
Yeah, I've watched surgeries. Like, I watched just a normal surgery a lot of people have, which is like a bypass. People have later, like heart, bypass, which is just they just take basically a vein from your leg, a vessel from your leg, and they just bypass a part that's clogged up in your heart. The outside of the heart. It's not open heart surgery.
Right.
And I've watched that, and it's just like you see on TV, you see like it's all quiet in there, like give me this, give me that, dude. It's not like that. It's almost like working on a car. It's like those surgeons have to be in great shape because they're doing hard work. Like,
It's like you get to the point in your life where it's like, everybody's just people and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. To some extent. And it's sort of like, that's true with everything. And it's also like, the other thing about being in the medical profession is like, well, at some point you're going to have to make a decision or whatever. And that shit has real consequences.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up.
And you almost have to chalk it up to your learning as you go.
Right. And it's almost like, I guess that's why they kind of have to be just utterly dispassionate about it, because they are going to fuck up.
It's a little joke.
That's what people do, is they fuck up. We had this, Jack knows a guy, and we talked, and we had a conversation. We had that thing. It's like, we made a mistake because he was already medicated, but we didn't know that he was medicated, so we remedicated him.
Yeah.
and that almost killed him. You know, whoops. Whoops, you know, it's like, and then like we had to accidentally pull out all of his teeth or something like that because he probably might have bad teeth. It's like, I mean,
This is the cure.
There's an old saying. It's if they. That's why they call it practicing medicine.
Yeah.
Because you never get fully versed in it.
Wasn't there a celebrity who had an issue with their kid? Like, was it Dennis Quaid whose kid was given like some injection, but
Right.
someone read the decimal point
you know
wrong,
what?
and they gave the kid like
you know
10
what?
times
And
more
that's
medicine
the
than
thing.
they should have.
When a thing happens to a celebrity, we are all going to fucking hear about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Drew Carey.
Jenny McCarthy.
No, who's the guy from Dana Carvey?
Oh yeah.
Dana Carvey had a thing that's derailed his career for like 10 years, supposedly.
What happened?
Some kind of heart surgery where they botched it.
Yeah.
They did something a little bit wrong.
And it just fucked him.
Yeah, and that's why Dana Carvey disappeared for a little while.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was also a deal with Joe Piscopo, who no one probably remembers. Where
I
it's
remember
like,
Joe
I remember
Piscopo.
he had a thing where it was like, well, I have this thing. I'm not going to live much
Eddie
longer.
Murphy left SNL. That's what happened to Joe Piscopo.
No, he had a medical. I thought he had a medical thing where it's like he was really sick and was going to die or whatever.
I don't
And
know
it was
about
like
that.
it was like, well, this was a long time ago. This is like when you were. I mean, but I don't know. It was like I don't know. But he never died. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I know Joe Piscopo.
He went on this thing where he was on steroids for a long time, and he got off the steroids and he got really big and really small. And it was like a weird mini Lyle Alzado event or something.
I was going to ask if you were confusing with Lyle Alzado.
No,
For some
it's-
reason, that's really
no.
weird.
I don't know who that is.
Lyle Alzado was I want to say a
He was
linebacker for the Raiders.
For the Raiders, right? And he took every drug and steroid in the world.
Wasn't he
he
on a show with what's the girl from Who's the Boss? Where's she on Punky Brewster or something like that? Who's the hot chick who's
No,
had a
this
long
is-
career now? She was on Who's the Boss and she was on Charmed.
Shannon. No. God. Yeah, her.
Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano.
I thought he was on something with her. I'll give Lyle
I
Alzado.
think you're thinking of another NFL guy or whatever,
Yeah.
but I think Lyle. I mean, if you look at a picture, compare two pictures of like Lyle Alzado when he was at the prime of his career, Pro Bowl player, to before he died, it was like it's two different people. It's like he became the poster child for why you don't do steroids.
died of brain cancer
You know.
at 43.
Wow.
Yeah, and he really is the reason. He really is the single reason why like steroids are like viewed so negatively because he went crazy and back then steroids were just like 80 steroids were like
Yeah, I must be
like
confused. I must be confused. He doesn't seem to have any kind of real significant television career.
no you're thinking of it some other. There was a guy that looked like Lyle Alzado that played in the NFL and like kind of had the same hair, but it wasn't
Captain
him.
Lou Albano or something like that. Pretty
There's
good.
a couple of those guys, like 4 of those guys.
Brian Bosworth or somebody.
Yeah, maybe somebody like that. I don't know. So, but how would you know who Lyle Alzado was then? Was this from his football career?
I don't know what to say. Anyone
he was famous.
anyone who's my age remembered Lyle Alzado
For what though is what I'm asking.
For dying horribly.
That's enough.
What do you mean? I mean, yeah,
But I thought he was famous before then he died.
he was a big Pro Bowl linebacker, right?
Okay, so it was the football career that was enough. Okay.
And then yeah.
All right. So don't do steroids, kids.
Well, no, you should do steroids.
Stop it.
No, there's that documentary you talked about
yeah,
where
I
it's
know.
sort of like I'm sold, man. I mean, look
did
at
you do steroids?
look at
No, it's just a
I've never
documentary.
done- Jose Canseco. I mean, look at him; he's fine. I mean, it's like just don't abuse stuff. I mean, honestly,
Let's go gambling instead. It's safer. It's
Yeah, really.
safer.
Speaking of not abusing stuff.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think steroids should be legal?
yes,
In what? In baseball?
in everything.
In everything. You should just
I think they should be. I should free market. I
Just
think
like no
the
holds
government-
barred, do what you want.
Well, I'm sure there's a level to which they, there's tolerances that should be operated within, but I don't think they should be illegal.
What about cocaine?
I don't know.
What do you think the Olympians should be able to use steroids?
Fuck yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember that Saturday Night Live sketch? All drug Olympics would be great.
Tears his arms. I think Joe Piscopo was in there.
It was in that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you always complain about just money in baseball. Even.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's a fair playing field, if everyone's allowed to use steroids and then it's a fair playing field. They're all using them anyway. It'd be more fair than it is now.
If you ever want to be frustrated or just laugh at Joel, either one, they're both equally as fun. Just sit with Joel while he watches anyone play the Yankees while the
yeah.
Yankees are pitching to them.
I think I had like a brain aneurysm about 4 years ago. I got so angry, and I got so angry that I can't even get to that level of anger in anything in life again.
You
Like
claim
I had a
that- you
meltdown.
claim
I remember
that
taking
there-
screenshots.
Yes, I remember.
I took screenshots of like the Yankee strike zone versus other teams.
You claim that the
my
Yankees
gosh.
have purchased a bigger strike zone than any
They
other
have.
team.
They have.
You should watch
I mean,
Brandon
is that
and
a
Joel talking
radical?
about
Is that
this.
a radical statement to make? I mean, does anyone not believe that? I mean, look at the replay. I mean, it's like it's a not set strike zone. It's. I mean, it's. This is. I don't know.
All
Like,
right.
is it so hard to set up a couple cameras and a couple lasers to make one strike zone for everyone? Oh no, we can't do that.
Okay, I just want to say. Okay, yeah, you're right. No, Piscopo has repeatedly denied the allegations and says he began a campaign to prove himself after battling from thyroid cancer from 1981 to 1982. That's what you might be thinking about.
Well, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the speculation was he's worked out so much that he was using steroids.
It was a thing. I don't really know.
And somehow-
but it's
somehow-
like he went through a period where it's like, well, I'm going to die in 2 years, so blah blah blah. I'm going to try and get all this comedy out of me in 2 years, or whatever. But he didn't. He never died. It's
No,
like-
I don't
it just
remember
kept
that in
going.
particular, but okay.
I don't remember any of that stuff.
Yeah, I was looking it up. So as far as I know, the only thing I can see of any kind of illness with Joe Piscopo was thyroid.
For the past,
Was the movie
I
Sidekicks?
thought that he was a steroid user as well. I mean, this really clears stuff up for me.
Joe
we go.
Piscopo.
I feel like I've grown
I
as
feel-
a person.
I've been sitting here talking for the past 15 minutes, and both Bernie and Gus are interfacing the internet, like doing a fact checking.
I gotta
Everything
make
I'm
sure-
saying.
I gotta fucking edit this thing.
You gotta make sure it's as close to reality as
for
possible.
accuracy, you have to edit this for accuracy.
The only Joe Piscopo
roll-
movie.
Have you heard our podcast?
No, I've never heard the podcast in 5 fucking years. Who was it? Brandon said I didn't listen to it. A fucking asshole. Strangle him.
Would you listen to your own podcast?
Okay, let's wrap this up. It's
Where are we going to go to
lunchtime.
lunch?
Good question.
Shit.
You have my attention now.
That's a good question. Where are we going to lunch?
I don't know.
What are you hungry for?
We should go somewhere. We have a lot of new people in the office, and we should take them to somewhere they haven't been before.
Probably that would be then Home Slice that you would like to
Oh,
go,
whole slice would be good.
or to Hop Dotty.
Both good.
So what?
Hop
Have,
Dotty.
Jordan, what have you? Regale us with places you have eaten while you've been in Austin.
I've been to Home Slice.
You have?
I was gonna go there tonight for dinner,
Okay.
but lunch is okay too. I haven't been to Hop Dotty. We went to Garcia's yesterday, Lambert's.
You go to Gordo's last night?
Did you
It was
order?
closed. They're closed for some reason.
Son of a bitch.
I know.
I got that. They took me to Gordo's once, and I just got angry over what they made me. Well, Gordo's is a
So
place
good.
where it's like a donut.
Gourmet donuts.
They take a donut, they slice the glazed donut in half, and put a piece of fried fucking chicken in between it, and then you fucking eat it.
You got angry about that?
Fuck.
But you didn't
That's
get angry
always
about
what
the
he's like.
You didn't get angry about the chicken fried chicken covered in queso?
No, it makes total sense.
What if they got a donut and put it in queso?
Well, queso always makes sense. Yeah,
You just-
queso to
you just
anything.
blew my
I
mind.
think they should add queso to
a
queso.
donazo.
What about chocolate covered peanuts?
Okay, no, chocolate covered
Oh,
popcorn.
popcorn. That's right.
You know what's better is chocolate covered espresso beans. Those are the greatest things ever.
343 Industries, the new makers of Halo,
Yes, I know. Yes,
they sent us a gift, Christmas gift, that actually went to our old office, and then so it just ended up here last week, or earlier this week. It has in it something I've never tried before, which is chocolate covered popcorn. Why have I lived this
fucking
long
awesome.
and never tried that?
I noticed there's a
been like
bag.
2
There's
days.
3
They
bags
still-
Nice.
sitting on the table. You know, the unopened bags have like a 50% mix of chocolate popcorn and like, I don't know,
Toffee popcorn.
Toffee popcorn. And then there's an open bag. And in the open bag, there's like 400 pieces of toffee popcorn and 2 pieces of chocolate covered popcorn. I'm like, what? And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I went through and started rooting through and just getting what was left of the chocolate.
And it's good.
Covered popcorn. It's fucking
Chocolate covered
great.
popcorn is a brilliant idea.
It is, but I mean, really, cover anything in chocolate is a brilliant idea.
Nah.
What could you cover in chocolate?
queso.
Cucumber.
No, I think
I'm grossed
that
out.
might be the 2 things, like combining queso and chocolate. But you combine queso with anything, it works. You combine chocolate with anything, it works. But if you combine chocolate and queso, that may not work.
It's just too much. You're
too
flying
much.
too close like sun at that point. So where are we going to go to eat lunch?
I thought you said Hop Dotty.
Do you want to go to Hop Dotty's? Is that
What
something
is
you
that?
mentioned? It's
Burger
a burger
place.
place, and it's a good burger place. And you've
Like-
already been to Mighty Fine.
It's gourmet.
Yeah.
What's some other places we've discussed? Have you been to Chewy's? I've been to Chewy's.
Moddies.
We went to Torchy's.
Torchy's
That was
is
good.
Torchy's is good.
I'm trying
I
to think
could
of all
go
the
there
places
again.
we've discussed in the podcast.
You go to P. Terry's, but you just had a burger last night.
Yeah.
Casino El Camino.
Yeah, they're open for
Well,
lunch
if
now.
you had a burger last night, we're about taking the Hop Dotty's.
Oh, right, you're right. That's stupid. What's wrong with you, Gus?
Come on, guys.
Well, we could take them to like some kind of trailer.
That's true.
That's fine.
What was that place we used to go that was the mixture of Thai and Mexican?
We have,
Cilantro?
Korean and Mexican.
Korean and Mexican.
Yeah, now there's
place-
2 of them. There's
that place
cilantro
is
and I think the other one's called Coreanos.
Yeah. I'll tell you where we should take Jordan for lunch. And I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to walk away.
Okay?
And it's going to be the right answer.
Conan O'Brien.
You ready?
Yeah.
Frank.